Well, it was John C. Maxwell who said, and I quote, "The leadership rises and falls." That everything, I beg your pardon, John C. Maxwell said everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, this powerful quote captures the essence or the heartbeat of our conversation this morning. I mean, looking at Nigeria, from ailing and failing institutions to blatant disregard for the rule of law. Lack of visionary leadership has actually led Nigerians grappling and citizens, wailing and grappling with failed promises and, of course, lost hope. We're going to dig deeper into leadership failure and the implications to the citizen, and we have a leadership expert and public affairs analyst in the studio to do justice to that. Mr. Dan Ukwu, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So we are discussing leadership failure and implications to the citizen, and I want us to go back to the basics. So my question to you will be, in your experience as a leadership expert, what are some of the root causes of leadership failure, at least in Nigeria?
Well, that's why, like you rightly said, that everything rises and falls on the leadership by John Maxwell. And then, in other version, they said that leadership is an influence. So how we have influenced people, how we impacted people, also goes a long way to determine their approach. So one of the root cause of leadership failure, you see, if you watch Nigeria for a long time now, you find out that it borders on personal interests, because most of our leaders believe their interests comes. You see, when you see in life, when you become a leader, there's like you have become a public figure, because you move from private life to public life. So by the time you move from your private life to public life, it's like you have become a public figure, you have become a public asset, you have become, everything you do must not be on your personal interests, because it's assumed you are representing a group of people or a constituency, either a senator or whatever. So everything you are doing must be based on perception of other people's interests. But if I know that in Nigeria, it's not like that. Whether when they are in their private life, you can't even say this is the difference when they are in their private life or in their public life. So if I know it becomes a bit worrisome. And that's why, because it's like when you are living in one room and you move to 2 rooms, you move to 3 rooms, you move to bungalow, you are still living as a person. It's your mentality will change, your expenditure pattern will change, your every other thing will change. Yes, you still sleep on one bed, but your thinking capacity will change. Do you understand? But if I know that we have a system where they move from one room to duplex, if I know that the same thinking capacity they are using in one room, when they are in one room, is the same thinking capacity they are using when they are occupying
There's no growth in any way.
If I know that their thinking does not change. Because if their thinking changes, if I know that they know they are representing people's interests, and they know that people are watching, so they will be sensitive. You see, respecting dignity of others will become their priority. What do you want? What do you want? But if I know that in our own case, there's nothing like what do you want, it's what I want.
Now, you just painted a picture of selfish leaders in governance.
Yes.
So my question is really, why do we keep producing selfish leaders in our positions of authority? We hardly see leaders like the late leaders from the First Republic, Zik of Africa, Awolowo, Okpara, even more recently, the Yaradwas, you know them. I can go on and on. How come we don't get, leaders of such moral, fiber, high moral fiber? What is the root cause of, our decline and failure in leadership?
If you if you're a student of Bible, you also notice in the Bible that this thing did not start today. It has been there right from origin. When God hid 10 people, only one person came to say,
Thank you.
thank you. Other 9. And they found out that that ratio is still ongoing today. So it's assumed that when people enter into leadership position, instead of being grateful and then see how they will solve problem, they are being self-centered. Their own personal interest becomes what is the paramount in their, and at times it goes with ego. You know, understanding looks like a non-issue, but you find out that it's a serious issue. That's where everything surrounds. It's either you understand or you don't understand. Yeah. And then there are also 2 types of people God has created in this world. They are the proactive people and the reactive people. And they found out that the proactive people, like the what I gave issue of when God hit 10 people, that one person is the proactive person. And then the rest 9 are the reactive people. They believe that after a while they're thanking God. What has God done? They believe they are smart. They believe they are more intelligent. They believe they have that power. They believe that after all is their position, that nobody helped them to get where they are. So why should they? And then you find out that because there are this always what is called mentorship. Under mentorship, you have mentee and mentor. Mentor is somebody who mentors a mentee. You find out that they find it difficult to let their mentee have a voice. They always believe that they are, in short, most of them are like bulldog or bullies. You must dance to their tone. After I'm the one that put there. After I'm the one that did this. After I'm the one that brought you from village. After I'm the one that did this. After all, if not because I put you there, you wouldn't have seen the light of the day. And when you have that mindset, you find out that you will not give that person chance. Because life is a process. It's like when you're running a race. After a race, you hand over. But most of them don't see the need that they should hand over. Until it's only when God calls them whole or whatever that happened that made them see. You see, they have this patriotic, the mindset there is very narrow. They have what is called scarcity mindset. There are also this mindset about abundant mentality and scarcity mentality. Most of the type of leaders we have in this, they have scarcity mindset. They believe that they know it all, and what are you coming to teach them? They'll give you what they like, not what you.
All right. Let me rephrase the question. Do you think the reason why we have such leaders that you've described now, you think it's a cultural thing, or you think it's a religious thing? We're trying to get to the root cause, or you think it's probably a breakdown of value system down to the family, level? Because, when we started this interview, I said, let's get down to the basics. Why do we have leaders that are self-centered? Why do we have leaders who are parochial in their thinking? Why do we have leaders who think about themselves rather than others? So let's get to the root cause. You think it's a cultural thing, or is it religious? Is it Western, or you think it's a breakdown of family values? What are your thoughts?
Well, rule out culture in this part of the world, and also rule out religion, because most people are driven, let's say religion mostly, because in this part of the world we have it's either you're a Christian or you're Muslim, and then they are
the traditionalists too.
They are the traditionalists, but the percentage is very negligible. Okay. But you find out that I don't want to go to that area, but then you find out that their way of thinking also, because some believe that they have the number, and then whatever you do is just immaterial. And some believe that it's their birthright to rule. I don't know whether you had it. There are some group of people who believe it's their birthright, and then the minority cannot rule over them. There's certain language they use, which I don't want to go there. So if I know that it's a combination, it's lack of understanding. Put it plus or minus, it's lack of understanding, because, and then it's also lack of respect for dignity of others. Because when you have respect for dignity of others, you know that whether you're a minority there are things within your control. There are things outside your control. Where you are giving birth is outside your control. It doesn't matter whether you're. But if I know they are here, the majority or those who come from majority have weaponized those from minority side. Believe that they can't rule, they can't do anything, they can't. But all these things are mindset.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of mindset. It has nothing to do with value. I don't think it has to do with value, but it's like a mindset, and then it's more or less of religion,
Okay.
and then a bit culture.
Okay. I want you to tell us, what do you think is missing? Because you have said most of our leaders, they lack respect for dignity of others, they are selfish. What are those leadership qualities you think that is missing in our leadership DNA, which is why we can't produce, it seems as though we are not able to produce, leaders who, who have actually gone ahead of us. What is that, or what are those qualities in leadership that is missing in our leadership DNA in Nigeria?
From my own understanding of what is going on, and then, I think it has to do with, if I use the word inferiority complex, it might look so biased, but if I know that, because because you as a leader, you are supposed to motivate somebody, you are supposed to inspire somebody, you are supposed to encourage somebody, you are supposed to equip somebody, you are supposed to mentor somebody, you are supposed to encourage somebody. But you find out that most of our leaders do not have that mindset of mentoring you. Have time. They say they don't have time. What is it? They don't have. I remember when I was in the bank, somebody told that they don't have luxury of time. That they don't have luxury of time talking to you to do this one. It's either you shape in or shape out. I don't know whether you have used that language. Like now, some people will say either shaping. But you find out that it's not like that. It's a process, because leadership is about a process. You that are leading the people, you are the one that knows where you are going. You are the one that knows your direction. You are the one that know how to, and especially when you try to say or add your voice, they want to say that you want to know, you want to show that you know too much. But there are also something in 48 laws of power. It say don't outsmart your master. Do you understand? But here, our level of tolerance is very low. You don't criticize, not even criticizing, you don't even say, and that's why you see in leadership Nigeria, you just yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. For them to know that you're a good, anything they say yes sir, anything they say yes sir. The moment you try to chip in idea, but leadership is not like that. Leadership is like a complementary. Even your master is not doing what you are, compliment the person. You say, okay, why not look at it? But most of them are not ready to look, because the moment they are there, they believe they know it all. It's either yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. And then if you don't belong to that group of yes sir, they now see you as somebody. They even want to send you to the village if care is not taken. It's just like what you see what happened in the Senate recently. Because who are you to challenge my authority? Who are you? I'm the boss. I remember when we were in the bank, somebody told me that I'm the manager. I said, madam, you are the manager now. When that mentality is very low, when it's just a mentality issue. It has nothing to do. It's just when you have a poor mentality, you believe that because as a leader, you may not know it all, and somebody will compliment you. Let me give you an example. This Natasha saga. If I know that it's not Natasha issue that they use helicopter, but according to her, it was the husband that now suggested that they should use helicopter. And at the end of the day, found out that made that journey a success. So without the husband suggesting that he would have, so that's why teamwork is very key, because you can ask your subordinates in this issue what is contribution. But in our leader, no, they don't believe that you should say anything. They are the master, and that's the main problem we have. It's not that we have any other problem. You are the master. If you watch what have been going on in River State, it's like somebody believe he's the master, and then somebody believe, who are you? I will retire you to the village. And he did everything to make sure that thing crumbles.
Okay, in the beginning, I introduced the interview with a quote from John C. Maxwell.
Yes.
Now, Maxwell is foremost, authority
Yes.
in leadership.
Yes, yes.
Now, he categorized leadership into several, facets. There's by position, there's by permission, by production. All the 9 yards.
Yes, yes.
Now, what you have been describing to us seems as though Nigeria. And Nigeria has only been able to throw up leadership by position, leaders based off of position.
Yes.
Because in one instance, someone is managing a pack, and then just in another instance, because he supported a particular political party, he's either a chairman of a local government or he's put in the House of a state assembly or things like that. We know all that. Now, how can we, based off of John Maxwell's categorization, how can we move from leadership by position to leadership by permission? How can we move from people just being leaders and exerting authority because they have positions of power to throwing up leaders who are actually accepted by the people based off of the jobs, the work that they are doing, the good works they are doing? How do we migrate from position to permission?
Leadership is a journey, and then at the end of the day, you exit whether you like it or just like when it comes to Nigeria politics, it's either you are given 4 years or you are given 8 years, and then at the end of it you must exit. But let me go back to that sale on John Maxwell. There's a book he wrote, that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you learn. These are stages, but you find out that our leaders, they always want to win. And then in process of that winning, they always create a problem, because whether you like it or not, it all depends as a leader what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Because at the end of the day, people will judge you by the legacy you left behind, and then people you have lifted up. Leadership is not just, yes, you might have opportunity to occupy that position, but at the end of the journey, there are always people, because there's all this hierarchy of leadership beyond permission, and then there are this parental, the hierarchy of leadership, whereby when you get to that level, at that level, you have added value to somebody. People follow you, not because of the position you're occupying, but what you have done.
It's called personhood.
in their life.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because there's something that means maybe you might not be thinking in that direction, and maybe as a boss, he will not tell you, that you didn't have a university degree. Why not go and have your university degree? And there always this also this mentor. I don't know whether you are aware about him, Zig Ziglar. He said that you get everything you want if you help others well enough to get what they want. Life is just like that. You will get everything you want if you help others well enough to get what they want. I don't know whether you've seen some leaders, they say while they are in the office, their phone will be ringing, and immediately 48 hours or two weeks, they remove them from office. Nobody rings them because they've not added value to somebody. They are there after their selfish stress. If you bring money, this thing is like, if you help me because I'll give you what I'll give you, you are not helping me. But if you just help me because there's nothing you gain, and there's what is called lifting somebody to the next level. You find out that most of our leaders are not ready to lift you to the next level, or they're interested that they even rubbish you. They will not. I've had somebody who told me that you talk about leadership, but I looked at me, that I don't have leadership quality. I said, well, you may not see it because God has not created you. Some people rubbish you, some people run you down just because of their mindset. But leadership is about taking, yes, the person might not know what he's doing. Okay, why not do this? Why not do this? Why not do this one? If you watch history, how Jesus Christ chose his disciple, he started by teaching them, sending them to the field. And then when they come, he will say, try correcting them. But our leaders do not have that mindset correction. Who are you to? They don't have time. They will tell you they don't have luxury of time. And then because I like using that luxury of time, they will tell you that. So, you see, leadership is a journey. it all depends how many people you take on that journey. Do you understand?
All right.
And then at the end of the day, it's those people that will remember you what you have done for them and what you have not done for them.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All
It's
right.
as simple as that.
All right. So do you think there's something missing in probably our upbringing? I know you had mentioned that you don't think value system has anything to do with our failing leadership, but do you think there's something missing in our upbringing as a people before we become leaders as a people, our grooming as a people that have affected, our leadership, styles? We did mention, leaders from before. People will say leaders are not made the way they used to because let's take Michael Okpara, for instance. The legacy, you mentioned something about legacy. The legacy, the man lead in a short, time as a premier. We don't have such leaders with such legacy. Now, would you be too wrong if you say that there's something missing in the grooming or in raising up of people that actually transcend to, people becoming failures as leaders? Do you think there's something missing? Maybe because you have mentioned people who are self-centered, who don't think outside the box, they're just there for their own selfish game. Is there something in raising people that has made leadership such a failure in Nigeria?
Yes, because you mentioned a value system. We will not remove a value system. Some people believe that after all, what people need is money. Just give them money and then they will do anything.
When did we get that? Because Igbos are known with certain, ideologies like the Onyanga and Nwannia, Akubwe. So at what point did, I'm just being specific with Igbos right now, at what point did we begin to migrate towards money? What was it that changed?
No, you see, nothing has changed. One thing in every system, the practice can change, but the principles remains the same. Like, let's say, use the principle of day and night. There's nothing you can do, whether it's Igbo or Yoruba or whatever. It cannot change. But practice can change. And at times also, ignorance can be a problem. You find out that for a long time, we have been under military regime. So most leaders believe that you have to do jin. They have to force people to do whether they like it or not, or whatever. But that's also an upbringing issue. And they find out that, like you said, our value system also, because when money, anyhow you make your money, or they know that share the money or spread the money becomes an issue. People, and that's why you find out that even the church is also failing, because the church are not really doing what they are supposed to do. And then they even worship those people who have money more than every other set of group. But you find out that nothing changed and nothing has changed. The only thing that we keep talking about it, we keep preaching, and that's why even this gospel that we are talking about our Lord Jesus Christ, he's a standard. But how many people are hearing? But you keep preaching, you keep talking, because you never know. It's just like your child. Like I told you, there's two types of people: the reactive people and then the proactive people. Most people under reactive, there are nothing you tell them that will change their mindset. Because they made up their mindset. Their mindset is blocked. They say Nigeria is a useless country. I tell them Nigeria is not useless, but somebody can make people useless. It's just like now we're talking about leadership. There's something I was just reading on why coming in the morning, and then somebody was now comparing Ghana and Nigeria. How many people are running from here to Ghana, and they're not even going to US this time around. It's going to, because the standard of living, and then the person was now talking about the standard of living in Nigeria, how it's falling, how electricity that we now, how it has become a problem in Nigeria, and then this insecurity issue, how it has become an issue. You see, these are indices to measure leadership. And then when indices are just dropping on daily basis, especially this insecurity, and then standard, even the value of an area, find out that if you earn 30,000, let's say 2 years ago, and you earn 100,000, you find out that somebody that is earning 30,000 2 years ago is better than you earning 100 because of value the money. So you find out that our value is dropping and dropping and dropping, and a lot of people want to survive, and that's why they can. Before there was a time they say in Nigeria Ghana must go,
Yes.
but now it's like the reverse is the case.
All right.
And that's why they say that no condition is permanent.
That's true.
Because when you can't help your people, they have to survive.
All right, so you have a leadership foundation.
Yes.
What's your mandate, and tell us some of the activities that you do?
Yes, recently there's because we believe, or I believe, that our leadership has no foundation, and then
What do you mean by that?
we went the foundation that I'm coming now. So we went to Ministry of Education, and then asking them that we want to go to secondary schools so that we can introduce leadership at that level. Because you find out that when you go to secondary school, the school authority selects the prefects. Do you understand? And appoint prefects. We are not saying that no. The school authority will select those who will become prefects, because it's a delicate issue. And then the students will also vote. Let's say they pick 2 people who senior or whoever. Then the students should also vote, and then see how it will. Because you see why we have this problem, because some of these people occupy leadership position, and one thing, most of these leaders, most of them are not involved in voluntary activity, are not even when they were in school. So all their life is about money, focus about money. Because when you do some volunteerism, you don't do something because of money. You do it because you have passion. You do it, but most of them don't have that background, and that's why if you follow an American system, because there are this program they are doing, they call it Young African Leadership. So they believe that you must have gone through voluntary work before they consider you for whatever.
Position,
yes. But you find out that in this part of the world, they are not interested in voluntary. All they know, they will ask you, what will I get? What is there for me? And then when they look, there's nothing for them. They are not interested. So it's like our system has been so monetized that without money, nothing happens. And that's a big problem. So like I said now, we want to go to secondary school and see how they'll be part of electing, so that they will even know that they can vote and they elect their leaders. It's a question of that day, maybe they will now do normal assemble, they will cast their vote, assuming if it is 2 people vote for this one. At the end of the day, they say this person becomes the senior prefect, this one becomes the deputy senior prefect. Simple. So that it's a culture we want to see how we can begin to, so that, let's say, whether our democracy will have a root. Because for me, it has no root. All these people, by the time, some of them are conductors, some of them are aburo. If you watch their background, some of them can be aburo, and before you know it, they become local government chairman, and before you know it, and there's all these praise, eye service, before you know it, some of them can become as a governor. Do you know what it means to become a governor of a state? And then that mentality, because of that mentality, they see everything from that perception. After all, so we are looking at how we can now go to secondary school, at least see how we can now see how that transformation, whether it can bear fruit. It's just like when you're preaching.
We've actually run out of time.
When you're preaching the word of God, you don't know the one that will bear fruit.
Absolutely, you cast your seed abroad, and hopefully they will come back to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dan Ukwu. Thank you for your insights, and we do wish your foundation great success. I believe catching them young is a very good strategy to changing the narrative in our leadership.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.